Hey everybody, Dan God of Thunder here, back again with the next set of patch notes. So I figured out that they were doing 2 sheets this time. I learned my lesson from last time because no one watched the 7.3 bonus patch note video. Thanks. Anyway, this is a quick supplemental patch. This is supposed to go up next week, looks like. More skins, because that's what we wanted. That's what everyone asked for. Apparently Joust is bad, and I don't give a shit. Speaking of things that suck, Baba Yaga. Baba's Brew is going to get 10 more damage and 10 more scaling at every level. They didn't fix the problem with her. Home Sweet Home is going to get 15 to 35 extra damage base with an extra 5% scaling, more burn damage, and it's going to hit faster. I don't think it needed more damage. I don't know if it needed more damage because it always felt like it was shit. But on paper, you were actually doing a whole lot. What I think they should do is they should raise it higher, but then multiple bursts do subsequently less damage. That might be a good change. Because the issue is if Baba Yaga is being using her ult to like burn objectives or something like that, she's got a shitload of burn. She has really good ult burn. She has really good objective burn. But she really struggles when she has to use it to impact a team fight because it doesn't have a huge AoE. And if you just hit someone with 1 or just hit someone with 2, it doesn't really feel that good. So I think that might be the solution where it's like a lot. It's even like another 30, 40% stronger than this number. But then you make it so subsequent shots are less impactful, so you're more incentivized to spread it around. And a really good change, they added 10% magical power scaling to her HP shield. She really needs that. I would even be fine with giving her, 15 or 20, because 20 really is going to cap out. If you cap out at 900 magical power, call it even 1,000, it's only another 200 HP. I don't really have an issue with that on a squishy character like Baba Yaga. I think 200 extra is fine. Heimdallr is getting a pretty big nerf to his vision. Remember, his vision impacts his passive because for every enemy god that his team can see that pings on the minimap, he gets 2% physical power. And Through the Realms is doing a lot less damage. It's 30 to 70 less damage and 20% less physical power scaling. I think his ult is still bullshit. Slightly less bullshit than it was. I think this is a really interesting change, but he really wasn't being played at the SPL level anyway because he's so vulnerable. So I don't know if this really matters because I don't think good players are able to make use of them, or at least knowingly make use of. Bad players are. And I don't know if good players, because they're also playing against other good players, are really able to keep Heimdallr safe. To the Skies is getting a nerf because of genetics. I think this is fine. I think bad teams and uncoordinated teams are still going to struggle. I think the fracture change is good, though, to make Horus more impactful at lower levels of play. I think To the Skies might be the hardest to utilize ultimate in disorganized play. Bots is getting 2 nerfs. The Fear No Evil nerf is big. That's going to be still like 80-something seconds if you build max CDR on bots like you always want to. And the Infused Strikes dealing 5% less extra damage. That's not a big deal, but Fear No Evil having a 20-second cooldown reduction, that's big. Merlin. Thanks, Olympians. No one else could have figured out Merlin was really good. Blizzard's doing 5% less damage per tick, which means it's 40% less. Dragonfire is getting max reduction, so it hits up to 13 times. How the hell do you hit 13 times with Dragonfire? Jesus Christ. Good changes. I don't know if it's enough because Merlin just has... Once the game gets to a certain point, he can just spam abilities and he just has so much DPS. So I don't know if this is enough. I think he's still going to be very good. I think they need to make other mages more potent. I think when those like Kukul Khan was really good, I think that was really what kept him out. Odin is getting longer cooldowns on everything by a little bit, which I think is a good change. I don't know if it's really going to shut him out. I think they need to change Gungir's Smite. So if it's like after like 5 seconds or like 4 seconds, the stun just goes away. Like he has to throw his spear within 4 seconds or something like that. I think that's the change they've got to make. Sobek, Blessing of the Nile, he's now going to have a lot less prots early on. That's actually going to go down. He's going to have 13, not even, compared to 30. So that's 17 less protections in the early game. And at the late game, he's still going to have the same. But it's really that early game because Sobek just doesn't lose lane normally because he has so much defense and he heals so much. Now he still heals for a crazy amount, but he just doesn't defend quite as well. So we'll see. Thor is getting a completely meaningless nerf because he's getting 10% less CD, 10% less scaling on Anvil of Dawn. That doesn't matter. Thor is still top tier. First pick, first band caliber. Ooh, yeah. Thanks again, Olympians, because only you guys watch the SPL. Okay. 10 less damage on Bladed Arrow. It's whatever. Mana cost, whatever. He's building Transcendence first item. Who gives a shit? Maybe this incentivizes Jotun's Wrath. Fuck if I know. Who cares? Yamoja. Increase the level at when she gains Omi from 4 and 12 to 6 and 14. She really needs to get one less at the start of the game. And then make it like 4, 10, and 14. 4, 10, and 16 maybe. That way she can't do quite as much very early on. Decrease the base damage of the bouncing bubble. Who gives a shit? That being said, as cynical as I was about Thor, and as cynical as I was about Ullr Yamoja, they're targeting the right characters. Whether these changes matter, I don't think they do, but I'm going to give them props. Thor needed to definitely get nerfed. Ullr needed nerfs. Yamoja needed nerfs. Sobek needed nerfs. Odin needed nerfs. Merlin needed nerfs. Humbots needed nerfs. Horus specifically needed that kind of an ult. Heimdallr needed nerfs. And Baba Yaga needed a buff. So I'm going to give them props. Maybe they didn't target the right things. Maybe they didn't target things that matter. But I'm going to give them credit where credit's due. They found the biggest problem children. They identified the biggest problems and said, yeah, we need to target these guys and girls. Cool. Moving on to 7.5. And this is going to come up live, I think, like in the 19th? World Kitty Jormungandr. I actually kind of like that one. That might be one worth picking up if I can get it easily. Shunga gets a skin. Someone, I think it might have been DM Brandon, pointed that out, which plays into something later. Battle Pass update. No one cares. Oh, okay. No, it's not. It's going to be May 19th. Is going to be when it pops up. Who cares? UI screen, art changes, whatever. Better for notifications for viewer point rewards. Maybe if you actually give you viewer point awards. Having watched every SPL game, I have like 24,000 points and everything's 75,000 or more. How to play videos for the 10 free characters, which is good. Although I don't know what those videos are going to look like. Who knows? Baba Yaga changes because she's broken and buggy. Creeping cabin not properly colliding. Wrong icon with voice pack. Baba's brewer couldn't be fired. Audio cue for blast off louder. Home sweet home wouldn't fire. They never found anything about my bug that I found where launching Home Sweet Home absolutely ruins your game's fucking performance when it never does on anything else. Cool. Thank you, guys. Bastet will now do damage on her abilities. Okay. Pomegranate C, underhand attack doesn't deal damage sometimes. When the fuck does that happen? New split of ranked has arrived. Philosophy between rank 7 has been say more shit. Ranked is more popular than ever because of the coronavirus and has shown some of our strongest matchmaking metrics as well because if you have a lot of people, you tend to get better results. Preserving matchmaking rating has got a long way given long-term goals to work. Top end, okay. Soft reset, much lighter. Master's MMR is going to be higher, and it's also going to soft reset. Increase the MMR cap. Lower gold is more towards 1500. Masters is going to be 25-25. Try keep it at 2%. Okay. Increase duo range Q, by the way. That's the big one. As far as items, Jade Emperor's Crown. 50 more gold. Minus 10 protections. Not a big deal. A little bit of a butt nerf, but not a big one. Runic Shield, I think this is an ugly number to put it at 40. And then decrease HP from 200 to 150. I think they should have kept the magical power reduction at 50 and just increase the cost to like 2350 or whatever. I think it's 2300 right now. Artemis. Artemis definitely needs a buff. She's one of the worst characters in the game, and it's pretty objective. Board can feel clunky. It often fails when we think it will. Tighten up the AI, make sure he finds targets more quickly. Decrease the warm-up time. Increase the delay between charges, so I think it's still 0.2 of a second faster. Additional effects to see where when spawning, to see where it is. More targeter for the initial charge, so allies and enemies can see its range and timing. Fix an issue where it won't charge at max range. Ignore targets who are selected in the frontal cone. Fix an issue where it freezes between charges. Now it knows when people enter its line of sight. Okay. That's interesting. With that being said, though, I think that's overall a good change. If the boar is going to more reliably hit people and hit people faster, Artemis needs more. She has no pressure. She has no mobility. She just gets flattened. Khaled, she needs some help desperately. Kurnanos. Kurnanos is now stripping away magical prots along with physical prots. I don't remember the exact numbers on the physical prots, but that's a good, interesting buff. It doesn't really help him directly, but it helps him in a team fight. He also just got a skin. Shunga is getting a small buff. She has a skin this patch, remember. 10% on the 10% magical power scaling on the heal. I don't know if that is on the healing portion or the damage portion or both. If it's both, it's pretty impactful. If it's just the damage, no one cares. And if it's just the heal, it's not bad, but no one cares. I don't think that's enough. But if it's on both, that's actually really big. But I think it's just the damage. In which case, either you're playing a hybrid or tank Shunga, and it doesn't matter, or you're playing a squishy Shunga, and you have to be in licking range of your target in order to deal damage with Moonflower Dance, so it doesn't matter once again. Mulan is getting 5% attack speed once she masters Cross Strike. It doesn't matter. Mulan's okay. I don't think she does anything particularly well, and her really she has no CC to speak of. That's her problem. Nike, knockback immune when channeling. Nike needs a lot of help. Good. It's a buff. She's a character that needs a buff, but that doesn't help. Like Mulan, character that needs a buff, yes, but doesn't help. Shunga, character who could use a buff because the healer meta, and she's just outclassed in the healer meta. But I don't know if it matters. Kurnos could use a buff. I don't know if this matters, but it's a cool change. I like this. Let's see. Rom is getting a lot of work done. Rom doesn't have a passive. This is what the Smite team has told us for years. Instead of reworking his current passive entirely, we looked at Rom's kit as a whole and found a few problems to solve. First, we decided to double down on the current passive and make it more impactful and more closely related to the rest of his kit. This design direction allowed us for the most improvements without changing the core flow of his kit. We applied some balance adjustments and quality of life adjustments after that to make Rama feel really smooth. Pick Me Up now incorporates Astral Arrow. Pick Me Up, which was the stim, was where you had the chance as a passive. Now it's moved to Asheville Quiver. So that is going to be 30 to 50. It used to be 50 all the time. Picking up an arrow recovers 10 mana. That doesn't matter. When the active is pick up, the stim is active every third successful hit on an enemy god. That's the big one. I don't think you're going to get that many successful hits on an enemy god reliably. Although with Astral Arrow, you're going to pierce through. will immediately generate an astral arrow. Rolling Assault, you can cancel the ability after the roll, and you get an extra 25% physical power scaling to the arrow shot bonus damage. That's actually a nice little buff. I like this. It's still very high risk. It's still not a great escape, but he actually gets something cool off of that. His ult, every time Rom generates or picks up an astral arrow, cooldown of this ability is reduced by 0.2 of a second. Includes his passive regen, pick up deployables, and generated arrows during stim. That's actually quite a bit. That's actually quite a bit of CDR reduction over the course of the game. It doesn't sound like it, but you didn't hear anything. That's probably going to be at least, I don't know, a good 5. That's probably effective 5 seconds off of his ult if you're ulting on cooldown. 4 or 5. That's not bad. Especially for a character who typically won't build CDR. Robin, 10 more damage flat on Prana Onslaught, which is his 1 at all ranks. That's actually not... I think his damage was fine. I think he should... I was looking through some of the statistics. I saw he was actually very low on HP at the start of the game. I thought a small HP buff was more in order for Robin. This isn't a bad change. You already can do a ton of damage, so I don't know. Ymir is here. Ymir need buff, not do so well lately. Ice Wall can help team, but also hurt team, so I destroy now. Ymir ult not fair sometimes. I try hard, deal damage, but still die. Now I deal damage every time. Thanks for play Ymir. Bye-bye. Ymir can just now refire the ability to destroy the wall early. He can refire this while under the effects of CC or while dead. This ability now goes on cooldown only after the wall dies. Okay, that makes sense for why they gave it a 2 to 6 second reduction, because it's really not a change at all. That's actually not a cooldown buff. Same as before. Shards of Ice. If Ymir dies while channeling, he still deals his damage for the current amount charged. That's actually a really potent buff. Whether this is enough to bring Ymir into meta, I don't think it is. But that's actually, I think that's a smart change. I like that. It's cool. I don't know if it matters. Aegis Assault. 5 more static damage at every ranked. I think the change they need to give to Zeus isn't on his teamfight damage or his damage at all. It really needs to be a survivability. I think they need to give him a mobility boost. But maybe I'm the crazy one. So, anyway, I think, again, Zeus, he needed a buff. No one was playing Zeus, and no one was playing Zeus. The other modes don't fucking count. He needs a boost. Ymir, really bad, needs a boost. Robin, 10 damage is nothing, fine. Rom, needed a bit of a rework, fine. Nike, no one's playing her, fine. Mulan, she's really not that good. Irrelevant buff, fine. Shunga, fine. Kurnanos, cool, I like the buff, fine, he needs help. Artemis, fine. Where the fuck's the Persephone nerf, and where is the Upwash buff? Upwash is a character that I think needs a lot of buffs. There's some other characters out there that I think could use some attention as well. I might be doing a video, if I can ever get myself around to bothering, where I take a look at what I would do if I was them. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and comment as well. Hit the bell notification to let you know when I upload videos. Super duper appreciated as I start pushing towards being able to monetize the channel. Just being upfront with you guys, at the moment I don't make anything off of this. YouTube ad revenue does not go to me at the moment. There are limits. You need to have a certain amount of subscribers, and you need a certain amount of watch time as well. So thank you, take care, catch you all around.